judge in Trump's New York City criminal trial said Trump had violated the gag order 10 times. And he told him to his face that if he violates it again, he'll consider putting him in jail. Here's Donald Trump's response to that. Roll it.
I have to watch every word I tell you people. You ask me a question, a simple question, I'd like to give it, but I can't talk about it. Because this judge has given me a gag order and said you'll go to jail if you violate it. And frankly, you know what? Our Constitution is much more important than jail. It's not even close. I'll do that sacrifice any day.
Make the sacrifice. All right, Charlie Hurt joins me this morning. Charlie, you think that maybe Trump is goading the judge, almost saying, hey, go ahead, put me in jail? Is he doing that?
Can you imagine getting into an argument with Donald Trump threatening to gag him? It's like fighting with a gorilla over a banana. It's not going to work. You're going to end up losing. It's so hard to take any of these cases, in particular this one, seriously. But we have to because it's going on and because, you know, they are succeeding at keeping Trump off the campaign trail. But this is all helping Donald Trump, as we've seen for weeks now.
But if we get endless drama in the court, will people get a little tired of that and maybe turn against Trump? Could it work against him if this just drags on and it's drama after drama?
You would think that would be a possibility, but if you look at the polling, and it's kind of interesting, there was a poll out over the weekend that showed 80% of Republicans say that if he's convicted of a felony, it makes no difference to them. That number was down around 40 6 months ago. So I think that may have been possible at some point, and certainly I was open to the concept that maybe Republican voters would be wanting to move on from the drama, in the primary. They're not. They want to fight, and this is just solidifying his support, and I think is actually probably bleeding into independents who think that he's really being treated unfairly, and that. It's worse than him being treated unfairly. Even if you don't care about him, you do care about our justice system, and you don't like the idea that you had the judge up there saying that I wish I could put you in jail. I wish I could fine you more than I'm already able to fine you. It's like justice out of control being weaponized for political purposes, and people really don't like that.
Change the subject a minute here. President Biden's going to speak at the Holocaust Memorial Day of Remembrance later this morning. He's expected to condemn anti-Semitism. Will he, should he, address Israel now going into Rafah?
Yes, but I'm afraid that if he does, what he'll say, whether you support taxpayers, American taxpayers paying for the war in Israel right now, in Gaza right now, Congress has voted to do that and voted to send billions of dollars to pay for this. And the idea that the Biden administration is going to override Congress on a spending issue and withhold those munitions from going where Congress, who has power of the purse, singular power of the purse, is a violation of the Constitution, and it is absolutely despicable. His time for arguing against paying for this was back when this issue was before Congress.
Indeed.
He lost. Or I guess he lost. I don't know. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth. I don't even know what he believes at this point.
Well, he's going to be speaking around 11:15 Eastern this morning, maybe a little later than that. We'll find out what he's got to say at that point. Charlie Hurt, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon.